The Valdorian Empire had conquered 47 star systems in less than a decade. Their fleet of dreadnoughts cast shadows across entire planets, and their diplomats spoke in ultimatums rather than negotiations. When they arrived at the edge of human-controlled space, they expected the same terrified compliance they had received from every other species in the galaxy. They were about to learn why humanity was different. Eva Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the UNSC Defiant, her arms crossed as she watched the Valdorian armada assemble just beyond the heliopause of the Sol system. The holographic display showed over 300 warships, each one large enough to carry a battalion of their feared shock troops. The flagship, a massive vessel called the Eternal Dominion, sat in the center like a bloated spider. "They're hailing us again," reported Lieutenant Luis Chen from the communications station, a slight smirk on his face. "Same message. Surrender within one standard cycle or face annihilation." Ava glanced at the chronometer. The Valdorians had been repeating that message for 6 hours now. "Have they gotten a response from Earth yet?" "Yes, ma'am. Command sent it 30 minutes ago." Luis pulled up the text on his screen. Quote, "We acknowledge your declaration of war. Please stand by for our response. Estimated time of arrival 18 minutes, end quote." A few officers on the bridge chuckled. Ava allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had a peculiar sense of humor, especially when faced with extinction-level threats. It was a coping mechanism that had served them well through 2 world wars, numerous regional conflicts, and the brutal colonization of Mars where temperatures could freeze nitrogen solid. The Valdorians didn't understand humor. They understood force. "Ma'am, they're powering up weapons," called out the tactical officer. "Energy signatures consistent with their plasma lance arrays." "Let them," Ava said calmly. "Luis, open a channel. All frequencies." "Channel open, Commander." Ava stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. "Valdorian Fleet, this is Commander Eva Rodriguez of the United Nations Space Command. You have entered human territory with hostile intent and issued demands for our surrender. We have considered your offer carefully." She paused for dramatic effect. "Our answer is no. You have one opportunity to withdraw. Leave now or learn why humanity doesn't surrender." The response came within seconds, the Valdorian Emperor's voice dripping with contempt through the translator. "Foolish primates. Your species is barely 2 centuries into space travel. Our empire has ruled the stars for 5,000 years. You cannot comprehend the power you face." "Actually," Luis interjected, unable to help himself, "we've been tracking your fleet's movements for 3 weeks. Your formations are predictable. Your shield harmonics are vulnerable to coordinated kinetic strikes. And your communication protocols are encrypted with an algorithm my nephew could crack. We comprehend just fine." There was silence from the Valdorian side. Then, predictably, the first plasma lance fired. The shot streaked across space toward the Defiant. Ava didn't flinch. The bolt splashed harmlessly against the ship's deflector screens, which had been specifically calibrated for Valdorian weapons after humanity had acquired technical specifications from a Valdorian diplomatic vessel 6 months prior. Humanity excelled at intelligence gathering. "Their mistake," Eva murmured. "Luis, give the signal." Luis grinned as his fingers danced across the console. "With pleasure." Signal sent. Target practices go. From behind the moon, from the asteroid belt, from positions hidden in the Oort cloud, humanity's response emerged. It wasn't a fleet, it was a swarm. Thousands of vessels, ranging from massive carriers to small vicious corvettes, appeared on every scanner in the system. But these weren't just military ships. Converted mining vessels bristling with railguns, colony transports fitted with missile pods, even civilian freighters equipped with nuclear-pumped laser arrays. When humanity went to war, everyone went to war. The Valdorians had 300 ships. Humanity had brought 3,000. "All vessels," Eva broadcasted, "you are weapons-free. Show them how humans practice." What followed wasn't a battle. It was a demonstration. Humanity had studied warfare for its entire existence. They had refined it, perfected it, and turned it into an art form born from necessity. While the Valdorians relied on overwhelming firepower and intimidation, humans had learned to fight with cunning, adaptability, and a stubborn refusal to accept defeat. The human swarm didn't charge in recklessly. They moved with frightening coordination, squadrons breaking off to execute flanking maneuvers while others laid down suppressing fire. Every shot was calculated. Every movement had purpose. Luis called out targeting data with machine-like precision. Dreadnought 7 Alpha shields collapsing. Corvette Wing Delta is moving in for the kill. Flagship is attempting to retreat. Battlegroup Hammer is cutting off their escape vector. Eva watched the tactical display with satisfaction. The Valdorians were powerful, certainly. Their ships were formidable. But they had made the fatal mistake of assuming that technological superiority guaranteed victory. Humanity had fought with spears against tanks. They had resisted occupation, survived genocide attempts, and clawed their way to the stars through sheer determination. They had learned long ago that the biggest threat in any fight wasn't strength. It was underestimating your opponent. Within 40 minutes, half the Valdorian fleet was disabled or destroyed. The Eternal Dominion sat dead in space, its engines offline and hull breached in 17 places. "Ma'am, we're receiving a transmission from the Valdorian flagship," Luis reported. They're requesting terms of surrender." Ava let the moment hang in the air. Around the bridge, officers exchanged glances. This was the moment that would define humanity's place in the galactic community. They could show mercy or they could show dominance. She chose both. "Tell them," Ava said slowly, "that humanity accepts their surrender. Their crews will be treated according to the Terran Convention on Warfare. Their ships will be escorted out of our territory. And they will deliver a message to every corner of their empire." She leaned forward, her voice hardening. "Tell them that humanity doesn't start fights, but we always finish them." Luis transmitted the message, then looked up at Ava with pride. "Message sent, Commander. What now?" Ava glanced at the stars beyond the viewport, at the vast galaxy that had just learned humanity's name. Now we send our own message to every species out there. The age of pushing humans around is over. We've joined the galactic community, and we're here to stay." As the Defiant moved through the debris field, past the shattered remnants of an empire's arrogance, one truth became clear to every observer across the galaxy. Humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be the same. The Valdorians had called it war. Humanity had called it target practice.